One of the pervasive questions in the cloud computing market is the cloud ready for enterprises to use? So I'm here talking with Stephen Orban. He heads up the strategy for enterprises at Amazon Web Services. So thanks for taking some time with me.
Thanks for having me, Brendan.
Yeah, can you talk about how Amazon has evolved its platform in recent years to attract those enterprise workloads?
Yeah, sure, of course. So one of the things that we found increasingly over the last several years is a lot of enterprises are coming to us and using us to innovate on some of the new businesses that they're trying to develop within their organization. So whether that be Capital One continuing to develop the future of digital banking, or GE continuing to look at how they can reinvent their business and develop new technologies to help them across all of their different lines of business. And particularly over the last 2 years, it's been really interesting where we started to see a shift in that demand where it's becoming increasingly obvious for enterprises to start to use the cloud for a lot of their net new innovative development, where they're now really interested in how they can modernize their legacy environment, where they actually spend 75 to 80% in many cases of their time and attention. So we've been developing over the course of the last year in particular something we're calling our Migration Acceleration Program, where we've got things from our migration methodology at both the portfolio level to help enterprise customers understand what's in their portfolio, how things interrelate with one another, how well applications perform, and then providing them a roadmap and several strategies in a very prescribed way to help them migrate lots of that legacy to the cloud over as quick a period of time as possible.
So what are some of the unique challenges that enterprises specifically have in terms of going to the cloud that you're helping to address?
Yeah. So as part of this program in particular, there's some technology tools that help automate a lot of that work. Historically, technology migrations from one platform to another have required a lot of manual intensive labor to look at what's in the environment, understand what's there, and we're developing tools both from us, like our AWS Application Discovery Service, but also through our partners with folks like Dynatrace, Racimi, Risk Networks, who are developing tools to help automate a lot of that process. And then on top of that, we're helping customers train and certify a lot of their people within the enterprise. It's true that sometimes people can be anxious about some of the things that they don't understand, and we found that the best way to help customers get over that anxiety is to train and teach them some of the ways that both to migrate and to build new applications on the cloud. So we've been working with customers like Capital One, GE, and several others to help them build robust training programs that they can roll out across their entire organization to help all of their staff and workers understand how to take advantage of our platform in a way that's consistent with their enterprise best practices and continue to grow and innovate in their business.
So what's new that you're talking about at reInvent this year?
So one of the coolest things in the migration realm that we announced yesterday in Andy's keynote was the launch of what we're calling Snowmobile. If you think about last year, we announced something called Snowmobile, which was a 50 terabyte device that we could ship to Snowball. Sorry, yes. Snowball we announced last year, which was a 50 terabyte device that we could ship to customers to load data up and then ship back to us so we could put it into their environment. That's been up to now 80 terabytes, and this year for customers who said, well, Snowball is awesome, but we actually have more data that we want to move more quickly, we announced Snowmobile, which is a 100 petabyte truck that can drive to your data center, plug it in, start to upload up to 100 petabytes of data, and then have that securely driven back to our facilities to load up into your AWS environment.
And it was pretty incredible seeing that truck driving on stage yesterday.
It was, indeed. I was actually very impressed at what we must have had to do to get the truck into the building.
Right.
But yes.
That's for big migrating data center size workloads to Amazon's cloud.
Indeed. And we're seeing, like I said, an increase in the demand for customers who are looking to migrate entire data centers worth. You saw Enel, who's the Italian utility provider out of Europe, yesterday on stage with Andy, who talked about migrating several of their data centers, and they moved 5,500 instances in under 9 months, which was just breakneck speed.
You mentioned a couple customers. Could you maybe pick out one that you're sort of proud of that sort of symbolizes how enterprises are using Amazon's cloud?
I would point again at Capital One. I think I'm enthralled by organizations that aren't afraid to reinvent themselves and the status quo. And I think there are very few organizations who take that as seriously as somebody like Capital One, where from the very top down, they have executive support to really be a technology company that is delivering the future of digital banking to their customers. And they understand that their customers are increasingly digital, so they have to increasingly give them digital products to help them do that. And just the pace at which they've kind of embraced innovation and understanding our services and how they can fit into their business KPIs and the things they're trying to do for their customers is just pretty amazing, particularly for a financial institution.
Yeah, it seems like that top-down executive leadership support of using the cloud is an important ingredient for a lot of successful deployments.
Very important for an enterprise, yes, to have some of that top-down support to really drive clarity of purpose, set very aggressive but realistic goals, and then not be afraid to kind of challenge the status quo internally.
Sounds great. Well, thanks for giving us an update
Thanks
on
for
the
having me,
enterprise use
Brendan.
case.
I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Cheers.